develop a trust with. And see, most of us think that is a big dilemma, because we've kind of prorated living in the Spirit with demonstration. We made it so, you get what I'm saying? We prorated it. Because that's what they told us in Pentecost. That's what they told us in charismatic circles. I mean, non-denominational churches, you know. The authenticity of your walk with God is you can speak in tongues, cast out devils, right? That's what they told us. You're a giant because you can operate and hear the voice of God. You can prophesy. You got 12 gifts. What are the 12? 9? I don't know. You got a whole bunch of them. And that's what we rate ourselves. And then we can function on that level. And I'm here to tell you, the problem and the dilemma still exists that it happened with Paul when he told the church of Corinth. He said, you don't come behind no gift. You are some anointed rascals, but you got some problems.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Am I right? Over there in 1 Corinthians 1, he said, yeah, y'all don't come behind an utterance, knowledge, or gift. But yet you tolerate this immaturity over here. You got jealousy, envy. Remember in the 3rd chapter, he talked about all the good stuff, but then he goes and said, I want to give you some real good stuff, but y'all can't handle it right now because you're stuck on your toys. And you're still immature. So I don't live from the gift realm. My life is not confirmed in the gift realm. I live from the best identity I know from within. Out of my relationship, the Holy Spirit confirms consistently that I'm His. And out from that, I can function in gifts and hearing the voice of God and living holy. Holy is not a struggle because I've been affirmed by God inwardly. They ain't saying I don't struggle. Let me get that. Okay. We all struggle because as long as I'm going to be carrying this carcass on me, I still got to bump it and bring it into subjection. You know, still got to do something with it. But I don't put it in a compromising position.
Amen. That's good.
That's the key.
That's good.
I won't put it at jeopardy. Try to prove something. And that's because that voice will always try to put you in a place to see if you really got it. I ain't got to worry about if I got it or not. Who cares about all that? That's seduction at work. I ain't got nothing to prove. I got no ego.
Amen.
As it relates to that. Because my identity has been settled. I mean, come on. You read stuff like I've been accepted in the beloved. I mean, how much more acceptance you need? So your family don't like you. Who cares? I mean, come on. I'm in the eternal realm now. Y'all sitting around there with frivolous stuff and temporal stuff.
Go ahead, Apostle.
I don't feel accepted. Who cares? I'm serious. I feel like Apostle right now when I sit there. I'm serious. It's like, man, how much? You know, you want to have people speak good stuff to you on a consistent basis because you don't feel good about yourself. Yeah, and that becomes yourself becomes a stumbling block. It becomes a mote in your eye. I don't need all that. If I hear him talking and speaking and declaring to me, now there's another side of that too, because sometimes we embellish a little bit and we think he's speaking to us, but you know. So that's when people started saying, God told me, God told me, God told me. I'm talking about a whole other level of operating out of the new creation man, right? Operating out of what he said in Romans 8. Let's go there. This is how we're going to settle some things. Learning how to tap into and activate the indwelling Christ that's in us. There's a nature in us. That's why I think Apostle Tim, when I ran across him, he said, feed the seed, nurture the nature. I ate that sucker up. I ate it up. I went through all scriptures. I looked up seed. I looked up all kinds of things. I asked God how the pneumaticals came out. You know, and I did a long teaching a long time ago on the new creation, man. And then we rebooted it again just recently, a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago. In verse, we're in that chapter, huh? Let's go up a little further to verse 9. Said, but you are not in the flesh, but in what? The Spirit. If so be that the what? Spirit of God dwell in you. Anybody in here got the Spirit of God in you? No. Dang. Okay, we say that again then. We rewind. Anybody in here got the Spirit of God dwelling in them?
Yes.
Okay. You have not because you ask not. Now, if any man have not the Spirit of Christ, he is none of his. Most of us want the Spirit of God. That is the demonstration of that nature. The Spirit of God. That's the weighty part of God. That's the demonstration of it. But how about having the Spirit of Christ? He made a distinction. He said, some have the Spirit of God, but then there's a whole another group of folks that need to be quantified as they got the Spirit of Christ. Now, anybody want to tell me what the Spirit of Christ says?
It's a lifestyle?
Yes, it is. Come on, y'all. Listen to the Bible. You ever heard the word before? Where is it at?
Oh, Crystal, no.
Galatians 4. Come on.
Oh.
Let's go see. We had to come back. I had to show it to you. How do we interpret Bible?
Bye-bye.
By Bible. So how are we going to be scholastically inclined is comparing scriptures with scriptures. That's what he said over in 1 Corinthians 2, right? You're comparing spiritual with spiritual. And basically he ain't saying comparing spiritual with the latest news.
Right.
That's how we get in faulty eschatology. So we step without the confines of truth, and then we start discerning what God's going to do by making New Year's resolution. Never mind. Okay, Galatians 4, verse 5. We'll go to 6, because I don't want to get caught up in here. And because you are sons, God has sent forth the Spirit of His Son into what? Your hearts, saying, crying, Abba, Father. Wherefore you are no more a servant, but a son. And if a son, then heir of God through Christ. So the Spirit of Christ is the Spirit of His Son. How do you know you got the Spirit of His Son? Because you recognize Him as Father.
Amen.
Some folks have a hard time calling Him Daddy. They still call Him the man upstairs. Or, they like to use Old Testament names. Jehovah Nissi, Jehovah Zikanu. No, the highest name is our Father which art in heaven. New Testament believers, it makes good prayers and stuff like that, when you want to just ramp it up a little bit, and you go to Elo, hey, and and all that other stuff, we go over there, and But New Testament, as it relates to God, we know Him on a whole nother frequency, and we know Him as Daddy. So basically, you can have the Spirit of God, but you need the Spirit of Son to be grafted into the family.
Amen.
And out of your heart, there's a yearning in you to assume the identity of a son. So once you transition from being a slave, see, I'm not even a slave. You have people, I'm a slave to the Lord. I'm a servant of the Lord. Well, keep serving. I'm a son that serves.